on the whole topic.
Higher oil prices,
it's not just
Joe,
about selling
definitely
something. Take
help
the money
when it comes
and run.
to paying for this kind of infrastructure, and so does it. It also helps, of course, in a country like Saudi Arabia. So higher oil price is good for Gulf Arab countries as well as a country like Iraq, which has been struggling the last several years in particular in terms of that power infrastructure, as you mentioned. But in terms of the right price of oil for Siemens, I mean, does this necessarily mean that we're going in the right direction?
Well, there's always a trade-off on oil prices because there are some who produce and sell, and there are other economies who obviously buy. So I do think that a big oil price like 78 is not exactly the greatest thing for countries like India, which have just started to, to have quite attractive economic growth. So they may not like the bill to be paid, which is much higher. Now, obviously, countries like Saudi Arabia or now Iraq, we talk about they like the fact that they have a surplus, which maybe could not be expected at this point in time. Then we see other constituencies, like, for example, in the United States, on one day, let's say the leadership goes out and say, hey, it's really great to have a big oil price because our industry is doing so well.
Yeah.
The next day, he goes out and say, oh, by the way, we have a problem because the prices at the pump station are so high, so I may not have nice, good-looking voters for the midterm election.
Right.
So you see, there is always two sides of the coin. That's why I would not feel compelled to say whether this is good or bad for the global industry.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Joe, very quickly, let me sneak in a question on Brexit. Update us. What is your current view on Brexit? What is the likelihood, do you think, that there could be a second Brexit vote?
Well, there is nothing worse than an unasked advice, I guess, so that's why I would leave it up to the voters to decide. I think the good thing is that the leadership also in the UK has figured out that there might be some benefits, being part of the EU above and beyond the challenges which are obviously there. So what I would really like for the UK people is to get some stability and some direction on where to go. Going back and forth on the matter and continue to debate about something is not really helpful to anyone. It creates a lot of frustration. It splits the society. It actually turns down the economy. So at the end of the day, you have a lot of losers pointing into different directions who actually, has the responsibility for that. So what I would love to see is a very decisive action. So either you go because your people have told you to do so, or you go back to your voters and say, did you really think it was a good idea after maybe 2 years into the process where, they got some more light into what that actually means. So I think no matter what decision they make, just do one either way and then move on and get the best out of it. That would be my recommendation to the British people.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.